Are you ready for some mind-blowing news from the world of Formula One? Buckle up because the latest announcements for the 2024 cars are insane. Spring races have been a hot topic since 2021, and F1 has been working hard to make them better. But in 2023, the sprint race format didn't quite hit the mark. Now, in 2024, there are even more changes on the way, including tweaks to the sprint race format, DRS, and the engines. So what exactly are these changes and how will they shake up the sport? Let's dive into this video today to find out. Get ready for some exciting updates. In 2024, the Chinese, Miami, Austrian, United States, Sao Paulo, and Qatar Grand Prix will be run with a sprint weekend format. China and Miami will replace last season's Abu Dhabi and Belgium sprint weekends. Sprint races have had a very mixed reception since they were introduced in 2021. While some people enjoy the extra racing over the weekend, others have reservations. Having additional racing on Fridays has been seen as a big plus by some. There have been some excellent sprint races that have enhanced the Formula One weekend since their inception. The South Pau Sprint last season in particular springs to mind as an amazing event that added something to the whole weekend. Sprint races in Formula One have stirred mixed opinions since their introduction in 2021. While some fans appreciate the extra excitement they bring to Friday's running, others believe they detract from the main Grand Prix, which is the essence of F1. The drivers themselves are divided in their opinions. World champion Max Verstappen has notably expressed his dislike for sprint races. One of Max's significant complaints revolves around the weekend format, particularly how it affected the predictability of the main race. Last season, the format of the weekend meant that the outcome of the main race became somewhat predictable after the sprint race. Friday's second session involved qualifying for the main event, making Saturday's standalone sprint day follow a set pattern with qualifying and then the race. Changes for 2024. However, for the 2024 season, there are significant changes in the pipeline. Friday will now commence with free practice 1, maintaining the usual start, followed by sprint qualifying, a departure from the previous format. In the upcoming 2024 season, significant changes are planned for the weekend schedule. The sprint race will be the second session on Saturday, following free practice. This will be followed by Grand Prix qualifying. On Sunday, only the Grand Prix race will take place. These changes have received preliminary approval from the F1 Commission. The Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, FIA, has announced that regulatory adjustments will be presented to the World Motorsport Council on February 28th, a few days before the Bahrain season opener. This step is largely procedural to incorporate the changes into the rulebook formally. The decision to implement these changes follows complaints from last season regarding parc fermé conditions, where cars were effectively locked into their setups after just one practice session on Fridays. Last season, there were several instances where drivers had to compromise their grid positions on race day due to parc fermé conditions. To address these changes in the weekend schedule, aim to allow teams to reopen parc fermé for setup adjustments. This flexibility is expected to prevent situations where incorrect setup decisions during the sprint race could impact Sunday's Grand Prix. Past challenges and adjustments. Teams like Alpine faced challenges breaking parc fermé in Baku to make suspension changes. Similarly, both Aston Martin cars started from the pit lane in Austin as they needed specification adjustments. The ability to modify setups between the sprint race and Grand Prix qualifying will provide strategic flexibility for teams. By allowing teams to revisit their setups after the sprint race, the new schedule ensures that cars can be better prepared for Sunday's Grand Prix, addressing concerns raised by teams and drivers about the limitations imposed by parc fermé conditions. With the revised schedule, teams can now optimize their setup specifically for the sprint race, as they'll likely only use one set of tires for the shorter distance. Then, ahead of Sunday's Grand Prix, they can adjust the setup to better suit a race with multiple pit stops. This flexibility allows teams to adapt their strategy based on the demands of each race. Midweek adjustments to the car mean that Grand Prix results are less predictable, adding an element of unpredictability to the competition. This shift introduces a dynamic element to the races, keeping fans on the edge of their seats until the checkered flag drops. In response to feedback from teams, the F1 Commission decided to revert the restricted power unit allocation from 3 to 4 for internal combustion engines, MGU-K, MGU-H, and turbochargers. This change provides teams with more flexibility in managing their power unit usage throughout the season. Power unit allocation adjustments. For the 2024 and 2025 seasons, the restricted power unit allocation has been increased to 4 per driver. This change offers teams more flexibility in managing their power unit usage throughout the races. Another significant change involves the rules regarding the use of DRS, drag reduction system. The race director now has the authority to trigger DRS use 1 lap after the start of the race, as opposed to the previous 2 laps grace period. This adjustment also applies to race restarts following a safety car period. This alteration is expected to notably impact race start and restart strategies. Activating DRS within 1 lap could provide a significant advantage to the attacking car, particularly after the safety car restarts. The change aims to encourage overtaking and promote closer racing, enhancing the overall spectacle for fans. These changes represent a significant shift in race dynamics. They aim to improve the excitement and competitiveness of sprint weekends, fostering more thrilling races for both drivers and fans alike. Future of Formula One. F1 has committed to transitioning to turbo hybrid power units running on fully sustainable fuel starting from the 2026 rules cycle. This move marks a significant shift towards environmental sustainability within the sport. One notable change in the upcoming regulations is the increased reliance on battery power, with a rough 50-50 split between electrical and internal combustion engine power. This shift reflects F1's recognition of the growing importance of battery technology in the automotive industry. F1 acknowledges the need to lead in battery technology development to align with road car manufacturers' shift towards fully electric cars. Maintaining the interest of these manufacturers is crucial for the sport's future. In the longer term, F1 may explore the possibility of transitioning to hydrogen power if it proves suitable for racing. F1 and the FIA have joined efforts with Extreme H to evaluate this technology, demonstrating a commitment to exploring sustainable alternatives. While the direction for 2026 is clear, the future beyond that remains uncertain. Nicolas Tombazis, the FIA's head of single-seater matters, emphasized the importance of developing rules that provide value to manufacturers, indicating that various options, such as fuels, hydrogen, and further electrification, are under consideration. F1 is committed to remaining road-relevant by aligning its direction with participating original equipment manufacturers, OEMs, objectives. The sport aims to avoid arbitrary decisions and stay connected to developments in road car technology. Challenges in achieving net carbon zero by 2030. As part of its sustainability goals, F1 targets achieving net carbon zero emissions by 2030, with the new turbo hybrid power units playing a central role in this endeavor. However, the FIA acknowledges that addressing emissions from race cars alone, which constitute less than 2% of the sport's overall carbon footprint, is not sufficient. Recognizing that the impact of race cars on carbon emissions is relatively low, the FIA emphasizes the need to address the remaining 98% of the carbon footprint. This broader perspective includes aspects such as logistics, materials, components, and the overall calendar, highlighting the multifaceted approach required for comprehensive sustainability. While the direct impact of race cars on emissions is limited, the FIA stresses the importance of the technological advancements achieved through F1. Participating OEMs have the opportunity to work on cutting-edge technologies that can eventually contribute to sustainable solutions in road cars. The challenges in achieving sustainability in F1 extend beyond the cars themselves, requiring a holistic approach that encompasses various aspects of the sport's operations. Balancing technological innovation with broader sustainability efforts remains a key focus for the future. So this is all about the new announcement for the 2024 cars in Formula One. What are your thoughts on these adjustments? Do you believe they will enhance the sprint weekend experience? Share your views in the comments below and subscribe for more such videos.